Welcome to the Changeover podcast. Today's episode, we have a 100-meter sprinter, Cejhae Greene. Cejhae is an Olympian. He's from the same country as me in the Caribbean. He's from Antigua. His fastest time, I believe, is 10 flat. He is the current record holder of the Central American and Caribbean Games. He's a medalist at the Pan American Games. He ran collegiate, track and field for Florida State and Georgia. So, yeah, we had an interesting chat with Cejhae today and just basically understood the preparation and the mentality that goes into track and field. So I guess for listeners, we don't talk too much tennis, but I guess the takeaway is that you can compare and learn from how different athletes do things, which is kind of what we did. So, yeah, fun episode. Hopefully you guys enjoy it, and see you in the next episode. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Changeover podcast. Today we have a special guest, is a 100-meter sprinter from Antigua, Cejhae Greene. Cejhae, thank you for joining us on the podcast.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all having me.
Yeah, we have also Justin, we have Evan, and in the background we have Amy as well joining us. So we have a full team today. I guess we can start today talking about. So it's a little bit different this episode because we do all tennis episodes. We've had one swimmer on at the Pan Am Games a few months ago, maybe like 2 months ago. And now we have a sprinter. So today we'll basically learn and try to compare a little bit between tennis and sprinting. So Cejhae, why don't you explain to us a little bit now where the track season is on the calendar and like how things are going, I guess, for you and for the other professionals on the circuit.
I mean, everybody's season is a little bit different. For me, I'm still in like pre-competition phase where we're just getting fit and getting ready for the outdoor season. There's an indoor season, but I'm not doing any indoor season. I've always been more of an outdoor kind of guy. Not to say that I wasn't really good indoors, it's just outdoors has always been my bread and butter. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to skip the indoor season, which normally starts like, I'd say, mid-December to maybe late February, March for most pros if I had to take a good guess. But then again, I haven't run indoors in a couple of years, so I'm eyeballing it, so to speak.
So right now you're going through preseason, basically.
Yeah, preseason stuff.
How long is preseason normally for sprinters?
Preseason for sprinters. So I started in October, mid-October. Preseason would probably stop around March, end of March, leading into April, where we start competing. So anywhere between that, so that's what, 3 months?
So you're training for over 3 months of just like working on your body, working on like whatever in your game.
That's where you work on your fitness, work on technical stuff, get ready to race. You can't just take a break after like a major games, because we get like maybe 6 weeks after, like let's say the full season. You can't just jump from there and then go straight into competition. So we go through a pre-season phase where we just do general fitness per se, get stronger. Then we do like a pre-competition phase where it gets really, really technical and getting ready to compete and that kind of stuff.
That's a lot different to tennis. Like I feel like our preseason is a month. Yeah.
Huh?
It's like 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
4 to 6 week preseason.
Because also we don't really have that long of a break. So, like, I mean, if you're at the bottom of the game, like in the futures, you can play up to, like right now, the tournament's on right now at the end of the year. Challenges stopped about 2 weeks ago.
So when do y'all get like a chance to like, recover, reset, and then get ready for it? I trying to learn how the season goes.
It's really on the player, but the top players, most of them, their season is done at the end of November. And then their first event back would be the first week of January, normally. So they'll maybe have 6 to 7 weeks of time to get a break and then do all the training they want to do for the next season to start.
Thing is, tennis is so weird, like, because I guess of the financial structure, which is the next thing we're going to talk about. Because of the pay, you have so many professional tennis players that are in their off season, but they're still playing events for money. So they'll be playing exhibitions and they'll be playing like these different tennis leagues. So this was the next thing that I thought was interesting. So this was last week, I think. Jack Draper, who's top 50 in the world, he just played this event called UTS in London, and he won $546,000 roughly, right? So that is compared to, and he had a good year this year, and that's compared to in the pros, he made 737,000 roughly, almost 738,000.
So one exhibition tournament was almost just as much as his whole year.
Exactly.
Running, so.
How that worked? How that one tournament, like, that's a big difference. So how that one tournament was able to have such a big payout then?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, it's an exhibition. So I'm assuming it's just whoever put the tournament on got the sponsors and everybody, and they just obviously it's players downtime, so they have to make it worthwhile for those players to play.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
They put extra in the pot, and
And that's just one event. So maybe there are other events around that players are not walking away with that amount of money. But I guess the point that I wanted to make here with this was that, it's not really fair in a sense, because these players, I'm sure they would prefer that there was no events at the same time, so everyone has equal amount of time to prepare.
I see what you're saying.
Versus like these guys are playing in these events to make money. Maybe that impacts their preseason, maybe it doesn't. So it's so individual, every different person, and what opportunities they have to play tournaments and that sort of stuff. Because
other players, like, I know that the French club competition is like end of November, December. So a lot of players, like, they will play that for money. So they will get paid for each match, depending on their ranking. So maybe, like, I know the German league, some top players will get, like, anywhere between 10K and 20K to play a match. So, like, when they would normally be resting, they're playing club matches just to make money.
Yeah. So it's no real set season, per se.
exactly, they're set events in a way, like, the ATP tournaments and the slams, you know that they're always at a certain time in the year. This week, then after this week is this week, after this week is this week. But then you come down to the challenges, and maybe the challenges may move. And then you come down to the futures, and they may move a bunch more. So, like, it's just it's so different to track and field in the sense that right now y'all are not running exhibitions for money, I guess, right?
So I know the season, like, even though some of the events do change and the timeline does change, I know that by mid-September, I'm done. So I know, all right, unless if I do indoors, then I say, all right, January to September. That's my competition block. Once in a while, they might have one or two events in October, but at the very least, I know that's the season.
Yeah.
And after September, that last event, you recover and you start the whole process over.
I saw the other thing that we didn't include here, but Taylor Fritz, I think, commented about there was like a rumor that the 4 slams and the 9 masters wanted to make one.
Like a Premier League or
yes.
something. Yeah.
So at first I thought it was a horrible idea personally, not that I know that much about it. But then I saw Taylor Fritz made a point saying that if every top guy has to play the same amount of events, then you can see based on what's the math is 9 masters and 4 slams, that's 13 tournaments.
That sounds right.
Roughly. I don't know if that's how much they will play, but like let's say they play just those 13. At the end of 13 tournaments, you have an exact representation of like how they did, versus like that's not how it is now, where like guys can play more weeks or less weeks, or guys can skip events.
Yeah.
They can skip the hard courts and play clay, you know what I mean? So I thought that's an interesting
and they
perspective.
They would have like a
there.
very defined season, and they would know when they're off and when they need to be on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's a good point there.
Yeah.
But
that's different from track. That's way different from track.
So when y'all are not in, let's say, games mode, like Pan Olympics, whatever, what are you racing at?
Well, different. Well, you have the Diamond League is obviously that's like the Premier League. That's a prime time. That's the races you want
That's
to
the
race.
ATP tour.
Yeah. Those are the races you want to get into. But there's a couple of they have world challenges. They have it's like how to put it, because Diamond League is the highest, and then they have a couple of the games or meets under it that fills up the season. Okay. But ideally, you want to compete in all the Diamond Leagues.
So does competing in those events, like let's say you compete in the Diamond League and you run, let's say 10 flat, but then you come down to a small event, you run 10 flat. Do you get the same reward, or do you get more reward in Diamond League?
No, you get more rewards in Diamond League. You get more points for running fast in Diamond League. You get more money for winning, obviously, in Diamond League. and it goes down based on the level of
What
they say the level of competition.
What's the
is.
prize money like in Diamond League events?
I think, if I remember correctly, right now, if you win, it's 10K, 10K, 8.
Like per event?
Yeah. So if you win,
So if you win the 100-meter final, you get 10K?
yeah, you get 10K.
Okay.
Which I think personally should be more, but that's what we're working with right now.
Yeah.
And is it an appearance fee to go as well? Or is
But
it?
appearance fee is a little bit different. So appearance fee, I think, is based off your ranking and based how you did on like the world stage, like Olympics, World Championships.
It's like your status, kind of.
Basically, yeah. So you'll get appearance fees based on medals. Maybe if you make the Olympic final, World Championship finals, but mainly medalists. That's how you make your appearance fees.
So the real money in track and field would be medaling at games, and maybe like your contract, your bonuses for breaking your own records.
Yeah. So your main money comes from medaling. That's what you get paid for. You get paid to make these finals and win these medals.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it so tough because look, you're going up against, let's say, top 50 in the world. 8 people make a final. 3 people wins a medal.
Yeah.
So you better come right. You better come right.
And how many of those events are they per year? Like how many premier events can you say you can run in one calendar year?
What you call a premier event?
Like the high level events, like Diamond Leagues.
I mean, once you keep getting in, once you keep getting to a World Champs is World Champs happens every 4. No, Olympics every 4, World Champs every 2.
Okay.
The COVID year kind of had like my brain all over the place because it been slipped in a few different places. But it's just like an Olympics, right? That's your main games, right? So this year is Olympics. Next year is another World Champs.
Okay.
There's also World Indoors this year as well.
Yeah.
So it's normally.
So that's
one
what I
big
mean. Like
game.
in one calendar year, how many of those like big events can you look forward to? Kind of one of the top athletes.
Mainly one or two.
Yo, that's crazy.
So like that's like in terms of championships, this year's Olympics.
One event a year and it's a 10-second event.
And then everything else is just Diamond Leagues and those years. So Diamond Leagues, Golden Tours, those years. So.
Like if you run at the highest level, let's say someone like Noah Lyles.
Yeah.
How many events would he run in a season?
I mean, that's where it gets everybody's different, right? So someone like Noah, who has the accolades to back up, he pretty much has the pick of the litter, right? So everybody's gonna want him in the race based on what he's done, and he did what he needed to do to have that pick, right? So if let's say there's 5 Diamond Leagues and they have 5 100s, right? He's the current world champion. If he decides he can run all 5, he can run all 5. There's no limit on it. As long as he's healthy and he thinks he's ready to run, he can go run.
So what's a heavy schedule for y'all? So for us, I think players play anywhere between 20 and 30 events in a year. How many times would you run in a year?
Well, sometimes you forget, you know. You end up running so much, sometimes you forget. Unless like you in, I'd say top 10 where you have more or less the pick.
Yeah.
You end up running quite a few, and then some races might have prelims and finals. So sometimes you have to go at it in the prelims to get to the final, and the finals be hard too. So it's kind of hard to keep count. Even I lost count of how many races I ran last year because I was in Europe for quite a bit, just touring, running, going from meet to meet. Yeah.
And your event is only 100. That's the only event you run.
I could do a little 200, but mainly the 100.
On 4x1.
4x1, that's more like we don't really get to run 4x1s until we go to like Olympics and World Champs and Panams and stuff like that. Which I wish they had more 4x1s just on the circuit. Like I think it would be cool as like a team Nike, team Adidas, team Puma, and it clashes like that. Even if they mix it up a little bit, like just add a 4x1 in it.
Yeah,
you know that would be because 4x1 is not as predictable as people think. Like you can have the 4 fastest people on the 4x1, and on paper it says they're supposed to win. But what happens if they drop the baton?
And does it matter? Does it matter also which part of the race they run?
Yeah, you have to set
like
it up
just because they're the top 4 runners don't mean that they will run a certain part of the race well, right?
So some people have different strengths. Some people might run a curve better than others. Some your stronger runner might run the back stretch because he's stronger. The zones are longer. Like it's so technical in what makes a great 4x1 That's what makes it exciting.
Didn't we have a really good 4x1
Exactly
team?
my point.
Like what was that Olympics or was that?
We had actually a pretty decent 4x1 at Rio, but a lot of people don't realize Antigua and Barbuda have the record for Pan Am.
Yes, that's what I was remembering. In Toronto, right?
In Toronto.
You ran that race?
I ran that race. I ran third leg, actually. It was Siobhan Walsh, she ran first. Daniel Bailey ran second. I ran third. Miguel Francis ran anchor.
Okay.
On paper, that wasn't the best team out there.
Yeah.
But we still had a record, though.
Still now, up to this day, it's Pan Am
still had a
record.
record.
That's hype.
What's the time?
We got 38-1, 38-14 or something like that. Which at that time, I think put us, it's like top 5, wasn't it? No, it wasn't top 5. Like top 10 in the world at least.
That's hype.
Because we ended up going to World Champs and we made the final of World Champs in the 4x1. And
Where that was, World Champs?
that was in China, I want to say. Beijing, I think it was Beijing.
And what's that down to? If it's not the fastest team on paper, is it down to chemistry?
Chemistry,
And how
making
you-
sure the legs, you have the person's at the right legs, making sure you keep your composure, nobody moves early, just trust that we have it right. Just trust that we have it right.
Were there heats before that in the
Yeah.
4x1? So how many heats y'all ran?
It's normally 2. You have like pretty much semis and finals.
Okay.
Because like top 20, what is it? Top 24 would be on it.
So more than 2 heats in an event would be hard for the body.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta run your 100 rounds and then come back around your 4x1. And if you're a 1-2 guy, sometimes you have 100. Come to quarterfinals, semifinals, finals, then go quarterfinals, semifinals, finals, in the 200. Then have
the 100.
Bigger teams don't really have to do. They have more like people, so you probably wouldn't have to run the semis, the 4x1.
Also, they can rotate.
Yeah,
they can rotate the team. So they have someone run the semi, someone run the final. That's crazy. That's not fair, dog.
Everybody had the same opportunity in terms of people you can bring. Whether
okay.
not everybody's on the same level, that's a whole different conversation. So everybody had the same opportunity. I guess the unfairness is you have no control of how big your country is and how much your talent pool is.
Yeah.
If you want to say that's unfair, but we made it to the final, so is it really?
Yeah.
It was tough, but we made it. We made it work.
Yeah, true. So y'all had the 4x1, and then also your time in Lima in the 100-meter semis.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a record too?
No, CAC I had the record.
CAC.
Yeah, CAC games I broke the record around 10 flat.
Mm-hmm.
And that was in Colombia.
Yeah, in
I broke the
Barranquilla.
record in Barranquilla, yeah.
Yeah.
Broke the record. I probably butchered that so bad.
Why?
I probably butchered that name
Oh, like
so
you
bad.
ran. Oh.
Barranquilla.
I think I don't know if it was that race or if it was Pan Am. I think it was Pan Am maybe, but I just remember like I came to watch you race, and this is I guess a good topic too to talk about the difference in preparation. But like I just remember like I came to see you race, so I came on the bus with you, and this was like a couple hours before the race, right? And you were just sitting in the seat by yourself, and you just staring at the seat like the man is locked in. So an empty seat next to him, you know, and I was like, no, I can't sit next to him. Like
Everybody know I probably one of the most like I'm always talking, I'm always laughing, but competition, I don't know what it is. I just turn into a different person.
Yeah.
Like before I get to the bus, I'm good. Like you chat in with everybody, you hear what's up, everything cool, that kind of stuff. But as soon as I get to the bus, I don't even know. I just zone out.
But are you thinking about something, or are you just?
No, just in my own zone.
Yeah.
More than likely, I'm probably singing a song in my head, but I just in my own zone. It's not on purpose, like I'm ignoring someone or anything like that, but just not paying attention. I'm only focused on what the task at hand.
What's like a race day routine? Let's say you're running at 7 p.m.
7 p.m.?
How your day set up?
which is probably what that day was. No, it was a late night
The
race.
finals always late. To me, I try to keep my days as normal as possible, right? Because if I keep the days normal, I don't focus on, or I have a competition to do. I have no stress.
Like nervous energy.
Yeah, because everybody gets nervous. I don't care what you say, you get nervous to some extent. You might not call it that, but to some extent you get a little nervous, and it's just how you deal with it. I know I've seen some people deal with it. They want to be locked in the room all day, and that's how they deal with it. Me, I just try to keep my regular routine. I get down, have breakfast. If Jody want them down there, I have breakfast, talk regular. I go up. I might do a little pre-meet, which is like a light warm-up just to get the body waking up, moving a little bit. But then I'll go up, watch some stream, play some game or something. Talk to my pops. I always talk
There's
to my
no
pops.
way you can play games in those villages. In
Wait,
Barranquilla and those ones.
Well, Barranquilla is a little bit different, but Olympics, bro, we had a little TV there.
At the CAC
FIFA
games,
swinging.
Evan hasn't stayed at the village because he played Pan Am this year, but he didn't stay at the village.
We stayed like at a hotel. We didn't stay in the village.
Oh, you
Living life.
how you end up doing that?
Yo, when we got to Barranquilla, it was like prison, kind of. It was like if you touch the wall, like the wall comes off on your hand, you know. So like, and the bed is against the wall. So you wake up and like half your body is just like.
But I ain't gonna lie, that kind of makes the experience to
It's
an
fun.
extent, innit?
It's fun.
Like I'd prefer to stay in a village anytime instead of, because it could just feel like a regular circuit meet for me. It's like a regular Diamond League race. I want to be in a village where you get to interact. I see my boy just going to the calf, you know what I mean? Aiden might be walking down to the calf, chopping it up. Yeah. And you just never know who you're going to run into. Like I remember Olympics 2016. I can't remember. I was probably leaving from casual dining and there's Serena and Venus just walking through the village. Like if I was staying at a hotel, I'd never see that. You know?
And it's fun too to see like when people win medals, like when like I don't even know who it is, but like whenever someone wins a medal, they walk into the cafeteria, everyone starts to clap and stuff. I get goosebumps. Like
On our flight back, one of the U.S. boxers had won gold, and like everyone on the flights, oh yeah, he was wearing it. Everyone's sick job.
It's not the same. You've been to a game, but not really. I'm sorry. They robbed you of that.
You should have came and stayed in my room. We had 3 empty beds in my room all week. But yeah.
Nah, but being in the village is dope. Sometimes it's not always what you expect, because you do expect, especially when you're leaving like from such a professional level. You've been staying on all these nice hotels and stuff like that.
Who's staying in nice hotels?
I can't speak for you, but sometimes our hotels are really nice.
Oh, so that's my next question too. Like
sometimes
they put you up, right? Like when you go to Diamond League and these places, do they pay for your hotel and stuff?
Yeah, right? if you're running out of Diamond League, yeah, for sure.
And travel?
Travel's a little bit tricky. Sometimes they don't pay for the full travel.
Okay, but you get something sometimes to travel.
Sometimes you get a little something to travel. So it's that's a little bit of a toss up. If you ranked high enough and you did enough, of course they can give you anything you want. They're already paying you thousands just to show up.
Yeah.
So you think they ain't gonna pay for your flight? Yeah. You know what I mean?
But is there any rule in place that this is what is mandatory to happen?
But I don't even know. I think there should be. Like
that's not your concern. You just run fast.
To be honest, I just go and run in and
how does it feel?
Get too caught up in like the politics and stuff like that. Like my agent calls me and said, "Look, we going here." I say, "All right. What's the prize money? Cool. What's the it makes sense? All right, we go run." My sole job is to run. Like I understand how the business works and I understand if I'm getting quote unquote ripped off or if it don't make sense, but my job is to run. Yeah. That's it.
Do you think a lot of other people think of it that way too? Like they have a little bit of like they think about the business of it too and not just the running. Like I know that's your primary focus.
The business of it,
that's what I'm saying. You think a lot of other people think of that too?
For the most part, like that's what our agents are for. You understand? But obviously I'm paying attention to what my agents doing, you know what I mean? I know what's in your contract, you know what's money is being spent, because at the end of the day, it's your money in a sense that's being spent. Even if they give you some travel, right? The travel is essentially for you, you know, for you to get there. So you got to understand how it works. Sometimes it's hard to keep up with because you don't really know what travel they might give you, because your agents are indirect.
So do your agents handle all of that, and you just?
My agents do a pretty good job. They try to stay real transparent. We're like, all right, we got this amount for travel, or they paying for the entire travel. This is where you're gonna be staying. This is who's gonna pick you up, or from the airport, kiosks, and all of that. So they do a pretty good job of keeping me abreast. But that was one of the reasons why I chose them, because like I've heard horror stories of sometimes people getting stranded in Europe. They can't find their agent. Like you miss a flight and you don't know how you're getting back.
What?
Nah, No. I need my agent. If I stuck in Switzerland, I can't find my agent.
Problem.
It's problems. I mean, obviously, I know I can get to the hotel if I so desire, but like, what if I have another race or something like that?
Yeah.
You know, I need.
So that's
to
the
have
next
a
thing. Do you
contact.
travel with coaches and stuff or not really?
Sometimes coaches will travel, but that's where the expenses you have to kind of plan out. All right, is it worth paying for coach to come because coach is here? Right?
How important is a coach for you, like at base and then also on the road?
Oh, it's important. I'm not even going to downplay it. It's important, but at the same time, it's a business, huh? So like, yes, it's very, very important, but you have to be realistic to yourself to say, all right, can I afford it? You know what I mean? Is it going to set me back way too much?
So if you could afford it, you would prefer to have a coach on the road every week?
I'd make sure I have my coach on the road and my physio on the road everywhere I go. Everywhere I go, I make sure I have them on the road because you got to stay healthy. And who do you take instructions from every day at practice? Coach. Like it'll be sometimes where you're getting ready for a race and you don't even know you're making subtle mistakes. But if your coach is right there watching, he'll correct it right there and then. Now,
I guess with something so very technical, the smallest little adjustment makes a big difference,
Big
right?
Big difference. There's been races where, even at like World Games, like I'd run semis or quarterfinals and right after the race I'd be like, if I had one more run, that's all I need.
But it's the nature of your sport is very cutthroat. It's like
cutthroat.
You don't really have more chances.
Well, you better come correct.
Yeah.
And we don't have no sympathy. You don't have no sympathy because look, I had to come correct. You had to come correct. He had to come correct. Like, it just wasn't your day. Charge it up to the game. You know what I mean? It make no sense beat yourself up for it. You go back, you watch your film, and you try to go back and do better. You know?
What role does Puma play? Is it like as a Puma runner, you're with a Puma camp and you train with Puma coaches, or is it?
So my coach is a full-time Puma employee. So he's there for me. He's there to coach me. So essentially, yes, I am in a Puma camp. What was the other question?
Like, what role do they play? So in terms of you saying the expense, so like Puma doesn't pay for your coaching?
Yeah, coach. Since he's a Puma employee,
So
Puma
that's
takes
paid
care
for
of
here.
that. Yeah.
But on the road, if you want to take him on the road,
Now they give you a travel stipend, and you can
use it how you wish.
dictate how you use it. You know what I mean?
We need to get Beggy in some Puma. Get our coach in some Puma. And hey, Puma, if you're watching.
So yeah, that's how it works.
When you say stipend, like it's for the year for
Yeah, it's
your
for the
travel?
year.
Okay.
You get a travel stipend, and you decide how to use it. If you want to use it just solely on you, you can. If you want to use it for coach per se, you can. But again, that just depends on, I guess, how high you rank, what your level is, right? Because if everything is being paid for me to get there, and they're not paying, let's say 75% of travel, and I have to pay the rest, that means I could use my entire travel budget to make sure coach is there and physio is there, right? So that's just how that works. That's just the name of the game, you know?
And then what about the mental side of the game? So like, do you work with anybody on that kind of stuff, or is that also the role of the coach, like in a way to prepare you for that kind of stuff?
I can't imagine, dog. Like you train 6 months,
Mm-hmm.
and then you travel. Let's say you go to Europe, you fly 8-10 hours.
Yeah.
You wait in a hotel all week, and then you run for 10 seconds.
It's not that hard. Evan, when last you run?
But then you run for.
When last you run?
Today? How does it feel to play a sport that's only like a quarter of what we do?
What do you mean a quarter? What do we do?
All they do is run, man.
What you mean by that?
But for a 10-second run, where like if you make one error, thing gone. You can't fix it. All you could do was just finish the race and hope.
Yeah.
Yo, sometimes you don't even make a mistake. What race was it where they made a mistake with the gun? You had a false start and then you cramped.
Yes, that
you
was
ran
actually
like
CAC.
30 meters or something.
CAC. Not even 30, but I probably ran like 50, 60 meters.
Tell the story for people who haven't seen
Drinking
boy.
it.
electrolytes, people.
But man, I was primed. I was primed. If that race went, I'm good. So did I not drink my
I
electrolytes?
guess he was ready.
All right.
That's what I'm saying. So he did
You
nothing
gotta
wrong.
be ready for the you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unexpected.
All right, tell the story for the listeners.
Basically, what happened was it was the final of the 100 meter of the CAC games, and I don't even know what the mix-up was, But normally, if it's a false start or a faulty start, the gun fires twice, and you would hear it and you'd stop. For some
So like
reason,
it would go pop to start,
pop
and then
to start,
pop
and then
to the false
and
start.
then another one if it's a false start or a faulty start. For some reason, the second gun didn't go until we was like 40, 50 meters down the stretch, and we heard it and we all so confused because now we're mid competition. We're like, at that point, I'm normally zoned out. I can't hear nothing, and some people like finished the race because they were so locked in. And they called us back and we had to stop, and we was walking back to the block trying to figure out, all right, what's going on? Like, who's getting kicked out? Nobody got kicked out. So now we're confused because why you call us back? Like, if nobody false start or anything, what you call us back
What's going
for?
on?
If somebody didn't move on the gun, that is their problem, not mine. You know?
So is that what
Basically.
happened? Did the gun go off and someone didn't move?
I don't even know if that's exactly what happened because what was that, 2018?
That was, yeah, probably.
Yeah, but it could have
It was a
been, it's
while
so
ago.
much different things that could have been the problem, right? It could have been like it didn't project through his speaker, her speaker, that kind of stuff. But it was so confusing because we got so far in the race and then we had to turn around and mentally regain yourself to go race again. But what happened is that on the second go, I'm at 60 meters now. I start cramping up because I prepared for that one shot, right? And even if a false start happened, normally I'd get to the 30 meters, I'd be all right. I wouldn't run an entire 60 meters, you know? So I got to 60 meters. I remember because my right calf cramped up. But this is the final. I got to win a medal. I just broke the record. I have to win this. So I eased off the gas. And that's how I know I was in some great shape. Eased off the gas and it eased up a little bit. Then I tried to hit it again and my left calf cramped up. At this point, it's like 70 meters. I'm like, well, listen.
So it's literally in the space of like 2 steps.
And I'm thinking about it now. Normally in a race where you don't really have time to think. But now I'm thinking about it. So I eased off the gas a little bit and I could feel, all right. At this point, I'm in like second or third. And I can feel them coming. I was like, look, listen. I'm getting the medal. I'm leaving here with something. I didn't work too hard. I'm leaving here with something. So it's either this calf is gonna just completely give out on me, or I'm leaving here with a medal. And I ended up just pushing through, and I ended up getting third. I almost got second, but that was so unfortunate. Because I was prime shape to be able to have a cramp or something, ease off the gas, go again, ease off the gas and go again.
Good form.
Man, that just mean you was ticking. You was ticking.
How tough is it mentally, like what Justin was saying, to prepare for 10 seconds?
It's tough. It's tough. But that just goes back to you believing in yourself and believing in
The work you
your
did.
preparation.
Yeah.
Right? So as I said earlier, everybody does get nervous, right? To some extent, if you ask me. The mental side is making sure is reminding yourself, like, look, you done put in all this work. You got stronger, you got better. Coach says you're ready, right? You know you're ready. What are you worrying about? You know what I mean? But it's just subtle stuff for me to remind myself that, look, I'm supposed to be here. I'm ready to be here. Just go be you. Go be great. You didn't get here by being scared now. Mm-hmm. And you've been through worse in practice.
How many times do you have to remind yourself of that in a race week?
I do it a lot.
All day.
I wouldn't even say it's a race week for me. It's all on the day. It's all on the day for me.
Okay.
It's all on the day for me. Because during the race week, I'm good. I'm not really worried about
But when it comes on to competition time, like,
Yeah.
do doubts ever creep in?
Nah, not really. I'd say for me, if a doubt does creep in, it's because I know I was hurt. Some things like obstacles in between, where sometimes you just have to tell yourself, like, yo, that don't matter no more. Like, you here.
We here now.
We here now. It's like, stop saying that you're one of the best in the world. And you should go into the race thinking you're the best.
So you have a lot of affirmations, just reminding yourself of the positive parts of the game.
Reminders. I go into every race like saying I'm the best. I'm the best in this lineup. Even if your personal best or you've run better than me, I'm on that line. I'm the best, and you have to show me that you're better than me every time. Even if you showed me 50 times, you got to show me every time we line up. Because in my head, there's nobody else better than me on this line.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, if you're a sprinter per se, and you don't have that mindset, you're in the wrong event. They sometimes say sprinters are cocky. It's not cocky. We're just confident. You understand? Like, I done got here, sponsored by this person. I done did all this work. And now that I have the one race, I want to second guess myself.
There's no time for that.
That don't make no sense to me. That just don't make no sense to me. So like, and that's what I mean. Like on race day, for most sprinters, I'd say most athletes too, we're a little bit different, right? Because you have to have that mindset of, look, I don't care who you are. Like, you just got to show me that you that much better than me.
How much of a race would you like? I guess, is there any gamesmanship with the other athletes on the line?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, like, can you, in a race, is it hard to tell how the other people are doing or feeling? Or can you hear them pushing harder than normal? Or
I don't know what they're doing, and I really don't care.
So you just focus on your lane, that's it?
I can't control what they're doing.
Correct.
Like, I can't run a Jody race like how Jody run his race. I can't run a Justin race like how he run his. But I could run my race to the best of my ability. So quite frankly, I don't care if you have a strong 30. I don't care if you're pushing out hard enough. That is your business. Track and field is a selfish sport. I could control my 2 white lines. Nobody else's own. So why am I giving myself extra work by trying to figure out what you're doing? It just don't make no sense to me.
In your life, how many times have you think you ran 100 meters?
Ooh. I don't know, man. I've been running competitive for it. When I came to college in 2014, that's 10 years ago.
No, you've been running before that.
By exactly
into
my
school
point.
and yeah.
I came to college 10 years ago.
I guess what I'm trying to get to is we were speaking. We spoke about this before. We spoke speaking to Noah in the episode with the swimmer. We were talking about visualization, and I was wondering if basically, since you've done it so many times, and it's a 10-second, you think you can close your eyes and step by step run the race, and if we time you doing it, you could get close to the time.
I know the feeling. Yeah, I know the feeling.
So if you were like, oh, you gotta run this in like 10:5, you can pretty much get it.
In 10:5?
Or just like, we'll give you any number, like pretty
8.
much.
I mean, as it gets a bit faster, it's a little bit harder in terms of, say, close your eyes. You got to focus on a lot of stuff. Because the difference between, let's say, 9 and 10 seconds flat, that's good chess. You know? Like, 1/2 inch off a step throws you off, you know?
But like, I feel like...
But you know what it feels when you've ran it correctly.
Yeah.
Like, you know how the phases feel. And I can't tell you exactly, oh, this is 9:9. I can tell you, oh, that was fast.
Oh, so you can finish a race and you know that was a fast race.
Yeah, you know when it's a fast race. Like, everything feels effortlessly. When
But
you
even
run
if you-
fast, it feels
But even
easy.
sitting here on the sofa, you could close your eyes and like run the race in your head. And
No,
you
let's
feel-
time it.
How you know when I finish? All right, let's time it.
Also, another question, do you run at 100%? Because I've heard some swimmers say to swim their fastest, they try to swim at 80% or something like that. Like, are you trying your hardest? or
Oh,
are you
the effort level. Yeah, something like that. It's
Yeah.
like, you are running 100%, right? But it's that fine balance of exerting maximum energy but staying relaxed. Right? So in our head, you try to say, all right, stay relaxed as possible. And I know my college coach used to be like, for this part of the race, give me 80% and build up, because it's different phases. It's a push phase, then which is the acceleration phase, until top speed is not really much you can do, right?
Yeah.
At top speed, you're just there. You're just holding on for dear. Like, hopefully you did the fall and you put some work in, because that's where it really shows, right? When you're at your top speed. So for me, I'd say that's more of a like how we stay relaxed and still get maximum.
Cause like in tennis, you have to be able to sort of dissociate. So like your legs might have to be 100%, but maybe your arm is at 70 for a player. Is there like a difference? Maybe like, I don't know, trying to keep your face relaxed, or I don't know.
Yeah, your face relaxed, you breathe. That's what comes down to breathing. For me, is emotion in my arms that I use as that cue. You know, just like, all right, let's go 1, 2. Sometimes I'd count it, and that just keeps me relaxed enough, but still give maximum effort,
like in a certain rhythm,
to where I build up to where I need to be. Right? It's not. Cause sometimes you get carried away and you just think like, oh, you gotta go run fast, but then you try to run fast. Like, oh, that's another cue my college coach used to say. He used to say, look, Cejhae, you're already fast. We know you're fast. Stop trying to be fast. Like, stop trying to do it. You're fast.
Just do it.
Just go there and do it.
What's your breathing like while you're running? Like, is there any like
the cadence?
Yeah, is there cadence? Exactly. Sick
In
word.
the 100? In the 100, it's sometimes hard to even get in the cadence. I'd say cadence of breathing. Again, that's everybody different, huh? I think some people do have a cadence. For me, not really. For me, is all of a feeling of where I'm at in the race. Right? When I get up tall and I'm running, I know, all right, deep breath, and then from there my breathing just takes over because I've done it for so long. But I don't think I actively think about my breathing anymore. Maybe when I was a bit younger, but not no more.
Because, like, I don't know, if I'm doing fitness or something, if I'm on, like, let's say I'm on an assault bike, sometimes I judge my effort level by breathing. Like, so if I'm taking, like, 3 seconds, like, inhale on 3, like, rotations or something.
You're really thinking on the assault bike.
He's doing I'm trying to breathe properly. Like, I'm just trying to
say, but we running for 9 seconds.
Yeah.
9 low 10 seconds. Half the time I don't remember what goes on in that race. Like, half the time, like, people would literally be there and scream my name while I'm, like, getting
That's
ready.
probably better, no? You're in the flow state where, like,
I just
literally just visualize and just go.
I just block everything out. I literally block everything out. I couldn't tell you what I'm thinking. If I can remember the race, chances are I messed up. At some point I messed up.
So, what's the difference? Your PR is what, like 9?
I've run 9 3 times actually, but it's a bit windy. My PR is 10 flat. 10 seconds flat.
So, what's the difference between you being at 10 flat and getting in like 9.9?
Well, that could be a bunch of stuff. It could be environment. It could be a little bit of wind behind you. A little bit of luck. There's so many different things, right? Because, again, all of us at this level is talented, right? It literally could be somebody get like that's just enough tailwind, take them over the top. It could be just today you just hit it. you just feel good.
And if you get a PR, let's say you run a 9.3 like 2 months from now.
If I run a 9.3 2 months from now.
I mean 9.93. Like a 9.93.
Boy, lunch on me.
We up.
If you run a 9.93 in 2 months, but it's with tailwind, that counts?
It's a limit. It can't be over 2.0.
Okay.
Yeah, so if it's 2.1, no go. If it's 2.2, no go. And I've had both. Not a good feeling, I promise you. Not a good feeling.
Looking for that bonus, but it ain't there.
At this point, right, I done ran 10 flats so many times. I think I just want it going. Like, I've literally, like, hit 10 flat maybe like 3-4 times on the dot. I'll even take 10.01 over the 10 flat at this point. And that sounds crazy, right? Because why would you take 0.1? But it hurts. It hurts because I need that 9.9. Like, I've run it so many times with a little bit of wind, you know what I mean, so to speak, but it'll be like 2.1, 2.2. It's like, it's nothing.
So is that something like that you actively try to work on in the preseason now? Like, is there areas of your race, of your 100 meter, where you identify, okay, maybe if I can improve this phase or this phase,
sure.
or
Shave off.
you know?
That's why I'm surprised. I'm like, where do you all actually like figure out where you get better? You know what I mean? Because this is where we get better. This is what we call trench work. You just make up your mind, it's gonna hurt, and it's gonna hurt bad. But you just make up your mind, like, I gotta do the work. And then the technical part goes, I was like, all right, cool. Coach says, all right, we were really good for the start of the race this year. We're consistent with it, all right? So now we're going to try and make sure you're top end, or you want to say you're a bit stronger, right? But now we have to keep your start or your first part of the race consistent. So we can't lock that, right? So we got to keep the technical work while still trying to fix
The other areas.
the back end. But that's such a fine line to play, right? Because your body could only take so much, right? So how do you do the same volume of work as last year and then add more onto it?
I feel like there's a balance in tennis too. Like different coaches have different philosophies. So maybe some coaches would think doesn't matter what your weaknesses are, you just use your strengths to cover the holes. But then maybe there are other coaches who think like try to address the holes to be less vulnerable.
I think
Yeah.
you want to be as perfect as possible, right? So you gotta address your weaknesses, right? It's keeping it, for me, if I had to say in a perfect world, is keeping your strengths, like keep working on your strength, but address the weaknesses, right?
I think it depends on the hole that you have, because in tennis maybe there are ways that you can tactically avoid a certain situation, and maybe it would be easier for you to improve this strength to avoid this weakness rather than improve this weakness to not fill a hole, you know?
But when I tell you track is cutthroat, it cutthroat. When you make a mistake, it is evident. Like, you make a mistake, you will see it. Because the competition is so close, right? We're all running so close. Like, if you make a simple mistake or if you don't address your weaknesses, when you make that mistake in competition, it can show.
And is that probably similar for the longer races too?
Yeah, like longer race is a little bit more technical, like.
But I'm saying, like, if someone makes a mistake in a longer race, that can one mistake can.
Nah, not one mistake.
Like they can recover it.
I've seen people fall down in longer races and get back up and not only win medals, win the race. There's a lot more room for error, you know, in a sense of being able to recover. If I fall in 100, race done. The race finished. You understand? Like even the 400, which is a sprint, longer sprint, but it's a sprint. You have a little bit of time where you can adjust a little bit. I mean, now the competition is still so strong that even with that, you don't want to play any games, but you could fix something. In 100, boy, you better run your race and hopefully that work you did pan out.
Yo, how fast do you run, like in miles per hour or something?
Miles per hour. I bet you I can break the speed limit.
Which speed limit?
I mean, normal neighborhood, 25 miles, I can break that. I bet you I can break that.
We have a question from Instagram. So we have a question from, I don't even know the name of this person. I don't want to butcher the name, but they asked, what's your favorite speed training drill if you have a speed training drill?
Maybe flying 30s, 30 meters. So basically, flying 30s is you'd have a run up. You really time in the 30 meters, right? But they'll give you like 20 meters, like a walk in 20. So you get just enough to where you're coming out your driveway, so you feel the speed, man. You feel like you're floating. You feel like that's probably one of my favorite. Like,
so you're at your maximum, not maximum, but you're at your like.
You're building up to your maximum.
Yeah.
So like all these years of running, you get the joy from winning races, or it actually feels good to run fast to you? Like you enjoy it.
I like winning.
So, but it's not like a joy in actually running for you.
I mean, to some extent, I guess. But I've say the most satisfaction I come from winning races. I just
like addicted to that feeling.
Yeah, you chase that feeling of winning. Like, yes, I love running. I like when I run a PB and it feels great. Yes, it feels good. You know you do. You finally did something that you've been working on for so long. But I can run a PB and still come fourth. If I run 9, let's say I run 9.8 and I still come fourth.
Yes, hot.
Yeah, I lost. So yes, I'm happy that I break, like I ran as fast as I
talking like
been.
you in training, and I know you just feeling fast today, and like you running the drills.
It's like, oh, this is
fun. I ain't gonna lie. To an extent, yeah, it is.
Fun, like,
it is fun when you
like
get it right.
For me, like today's the first time I hit in like I don't know, maybe 10 days, and it was fun. I enjoyed the feeling of playing tennis again.
But you were playing Amy, so.
Put some respect in it, man.
Oh my God! Go fix your racket or something. Go make a racket. You can't even make a racket, this guy.
It's just a competition, though. If I'm being real, because even with that, right? if you're doing a single rep, yeah, cool. You'll be like, yeah, I feel bouncy, I feel good. But now you do something
different.
Nah, at that point I'm tired. But we doing blocks, and it's me and my training partner, and it's my day, and I got his number, and I just beating up on him every day. Ain't nothing feel better than that. Ain't nothing feel better than that.
So what? That's
I
another
can talk
question.
trash all day.
This is another question from Instagram. If you have, what's your biggest motivation or driving factor in sport? Like, obviously you're addicted to that winning feeling, but like, I mean, I'm sure there's some sort of other internal or motivation that you have, like from way back in the day.
I mean, for me, it's seeing the people who support me from so long, seeing them happy. Like, for instance, my dad, mom, the family that like been there, even some of my close friends, right, that they know you got it in you, and you see them genuinely happy for you after you accomplish your goals. Like, there's no, like, one of the best feelings, I'm not gonna lie. So, like, the genuine happiness of like your circle,
The people
you know
you
what I mean?
care for.
Because when you do well, you know what I mean, people gonna be happy then. That's when a lot of people come around. But like, when you know your circle and they've seen, all right, your downs where you got hurt and you had to battle through that mental of getting back to where you had to be, and when you yourself are digging yourself out of a hole, and they're like, yo, you know you talented, I know you got it in you, then you finally do that, boy, that feeling feel good. That feeling feel good, man. Even seeing your friends do well, you know what I mean? Like, when my friend group, when all of us are doing well, like, it's just a buzz.
You think that's contagious if someone in your training group starts to do well?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's mental too. Some people are just like, they have not a grudge, but some people will be like, well, how they doing well?
And I know.
And I'm not, right? So I think it more so depends on like how good you are with that person. Me personally, I want to see like if you're in my training
Everybody
group,
do
because I've seen all the work you did, right? So I know what you've been through, so I genuinely want you to do well, right? Now, obviously I'm gonna be like, all right, coach, what's going on now? I need to do well too. But obviously I want to see you do well, right? But I have friends that's in different areas. You know, I have friends that are in Orlando, LA, New Orleans, Texas, you know what I mean? And even though we're not in the same immediate place, we know that we're all doing the same work in terms of effort and how hard it is. So when you see them go out there and do well, and they see you do well in return, and just that genuine happiness, it keeps you going. But family is a big factor for me, though.
I feel we have that with us, like the training group. If one of us starts to do well, I feel, because also you're training with the person every day. So if someone's doing well, obviously you can see why, and you can pause, but you can feel why, because you're playing against the person. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that's, in a way, that's contagious to us. It's like, because, yeah, it's like, it's not going to make us any worse playing with better players, like practicing with better players.
That helps
you.
you. Like, we had this saying, iron sharpen iron.
Exactly.
That's how you get better. Can't run away from a competition in a competitive sport.
True.
And
On the girls, though.
I don't know what it is. I've heard that a few times. The girls are a little bit different. I don't know. You got to explain that.
What the heck?
Because even us, like for guys, we will even have beef and still be fine.
Girls don't share coaches. Women tennis players don't like to share coaches. They don't train well in groups, is what they say. Don't cancel me.
Jody said that.
Don't shoot the messenger. All right.
Direct quote from Jody.
Check our previous episodes. It's not me.
I don't know, man.
But yeah, that's what word around town is.
I've actually heard that even sometimes in track groups. Sometimes managing the personalities is be tough. And trying to manage one person not feeling like they get more attention than the other.
Yeah.
No, I don't feel like guys, we don't really care. Just get me to run fast and we good.
Yeah. So goals for next season will be what? Get to 9s?
Go. For me, I already know I can run 9. So that's a goal. Yes, it's a goal.
Yeah.
But my goal is to make the final. Make the final, because when you make the final, you could win a medal.
Yeah.
You understand? Obviously, my goal is to win it all.
Olympics, you're talking.
It's Olympics.
Yeah, Olympics. It's Olympics we talking.
See, I wear
That's
the-
what matter. Yeah, I see you with the 365. I see.
Antigua,
You understand?
Support my own.
That's always the goal, though. My goal. I'm always a person. I'm gonna shoot for the stars every time because I feel like if you cut yourself short, that's what will happen. If my goal is to win it all and I fall short from winning it all, that's maybe a silver or a bronze.
Yeah.
I still want to win it all, but
Yeah.
you can somewhat live with that. You know what I mean? We getting paid off of that. But if my goal is to just be there,
And you
Wow.
hit it still, but you won't medal.
okay.
What's crazy, you
Exactly.
can see athletes at these games, like Olympics. I have not been to Olympics. So Pan Am
Wait a minute.
games, you can see athletes at Pan Ams that are just happy to be there versus the
Yeah,
people
you can
who
see the
come
people
there
who-
to do business,
Yeah, you can
know?
see that. You can see that. It's so crazy because like you would think most persons have that same mentality until you get there and realize like, all right, he just happy to be here.
Yeah.
And no, I mean if that's your goal and that's what keep you happy, all right, so be it, right? But me, I'm trying to win it all. I want
Yeah.
everything. Pause. That is crazy, ladies and gentlemen.
Everything? All right, then. You gonna ask something?
Yeah. So that's a obviously big goal. What can you do as an athlete to be better? Like where, I guess in all this time as an athlete, do you feel like what's the area you could have developed more? Maybe I don't know whether it's on the track, off the track. It has to do with nutrition. I don't know, sleep, anything. Like anything that you think that you could do better to be a better all around athlete.
Maybe recovery. I feel like that's one of the hardest parts for us as athletes sometimes is staying healthy. And I mean, it's a lot of athletes probably throw that around, staying healthy, but it's such a major part. I can work on my weaknesses if I can show up every day at practice and be healthy enough to get the work done, right? Coach knows your weaknesses, right? Coach, that's what he's there for. Don't try to be the coach. You have your input. You understand? Like, coach, I feel like this needs a little tweak and what you think. You understand? But that's his job. You understand? When you the athlete start trying to be the coach and the athlete, that's too much sometimes to think about. You understand? But staying healthy, because if you're healthy, you can get the work done. If you can get the work done, we could fix some stuff. If we could fix some stuff, we could ultimately get better, right? If you get better, you win more races, you win more medals, you understand? But it's easier said than done because, for one, we're putting so much pressure on our bodies each day. Then we have a strict regime to follow in terms of nutrition. And let's be real, the nitty-gritty of it, treatment is not cheap. A massage is $120, $130 for an hour. Yeah, you know what I mean? In a perfect world, you get 2 of those a week. You see a chiropractor that's about $80, $100. You know what I mean? It's just not a cheap game, right?
Yo.
So,
Chiropractors?
yeah, I don't know how you a whole professional tennis player and you ain't never been to a chiropractor.
No,
That
but
is
what
crazy.
I was saying, what I learned is, I thought chiropractor was like a half an hour to an hour session. You know, it's like a 5-minute thing.
I was doing it, but my back was hurting. It's literally you go in there. It's like 7 minutes, bro.
Yeah, I mean, the first
That's
initial couple
craziness.
visits is be long because
You figure out what's going on with you, and then once you know what's going on,
But imagine how
say,
many.
hey, what's up? Yeah.
Yeah.
But imagine
See ya.
how many
120.
clients. Exactly,
clients
how
they
many
can fit
clients
in.
they can have for a rate. Like,
They could have 5, 6 in an hour.
if you feel that the relief is equivalent or similar to a physio, to like a massage.
I wouldn't say it's equivalent.
No, but I'm
it
saying
does-
in the, no, you know what I
plays
mean.
a
Like the
role.
value, there's a value in it,
Yeah,
right?
there's a value in it for sure.
And the value of it takes 7 minutes compared to a massage gonna take an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine how many, like, you're willing to pay similar price probably.
I mean,
Like, imagine how many clients that a chiropractor is turning over. Like, in a,
yeah.
I can start studying, yo.
You went to
Side,
yeah, exactly. That's
Side
basically what
hustle.
he's saying, but I'm saying it.
side hustle. I'm a
But
bit
yeah, I think
tennis player.
everything works together. You know what I mean? Your chiropractor and your massage therapist, your PT. And a lot of people don't realize your PT and your massage therapist is 2 different things. You understand? Your trainer is a whole different thing from just your massage therapist. I mean, obviously there are some that do both,
yeah.
you understand? But they're 2 completely different different entities. They do different things.
So as you improve in your races, your results get better. You will allocate more resources to taking care of that part of your game.
Yeah, for sure, easily. It's so many different things that I do a pretty decent job at right now, but there's still so much more I think I can do.
That's exciting.
If I can get it done, yeah. Nah, for sure.
Yeah, true. Anyway, anything else we need to cover before we roll, people?
Nah, man.
All good. 2 things. So by the time this episode comes out, we would have already dropped our clothes. Justin's wearing the hoodie. We have pink hoodies, white hoodies. I'm sure maybe in this episode we would also have the ad at some point in the episode. But yeah, go get yourself some clothes. And also,
If you buy 2 pieces, you get the free shipping.
we think.
It's supposed to be.
We're figuring it out.
At least in the US.
And also, don't forget Pro Stringer. For all the tennis players watching, if you need a machine on the road, it's the best portable machine I believe in the market for the price that you can pay. And we all use it. We've been using it since 2019 or 2020.
Code changeover,
So.
$100 off.
And also, this is the exact same machine since so long. So if you take care of the machine, it lasts a long time, save a lot of money on the road. So yeah, use code changeover in the Pro Stringer shop, get $100 off discount. CJ, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you coming through.
Hey, let's start a petition to get Jody to see a chiropractor. That's ridiculous.
Who can pay for it?
Which camera I'm looking at? Look. How are you a professional tennis player? I ain't seen a chiropractor yet. That is crazy. That's ridiculous. Yeah,
Comment down below if I should see a
Dr.
chiropractor.
S, next session, I'm bringing Jody.
Have you ever seen the ring dinger?
What's that?
The ring dinger, he's a chiropractor. He puts something around your neck, goes pop, and it pops like your spine straight.
What?
Yeah.
That was all sick.
That one
We ain't
scared
talking
me.
about all that.
Let's get him started somewhere first.
Put my spine?
No, appreciate y'all for having me.
Yeah,
man. It
no,
was
thanks
fun.
for coming through. Everybody, thank you for watching, and hopefully you enjoyed the episode. See you in the next one.